In a world that is constantly screaming at us for more hustle, more growth, more everything, have you ever just stopped and wondered, is there a better way? A way to actually find some balance in all this noise? Well, let's explore an alternative to that endless, frantic race. Wow, I mean, this quote right here, it just hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of being pulled under by this constant pressure to improve, to optimize, to squeeze every single drop of productivity out of every single minute. Honestly, it's just exhausting.
I mean, be honest with yourself for a second. Is your default mode just sprinting from one task to the next, from one meeting to another, chasing a finish line that somehow keeps moving further and further away? If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you are definitely in the right place.
So first, let's just talk about the impact all this has on us. Let's dive into this idea of the overwhelmed brain and, the very real cost of constantly chasing after more. And look, the solution here isn't just some new time management hack or another productivity app you download and forget about. Nope, what we really need is something much more fundamental. We're talking about a complete change in how we even think about success and balance. And this is where we get to that radical shift. It's time to stop focusing on the problem and start moving toward the solution. It's about turning away from that endless pursuit of more and turning toward the quiet power of just enough. And you might be thinking, oh, here we go, another new age trend. But this is anything but. This is a time-tested philosophy, something that's deeply woven into Swedish culture. And it offers a really powerful antidote to our modern anxieties. And that philosophy, it has a name. It's called Lagom. And it's a concept that can totally reframe how we think about our work, our lives, and our search for a well-being that actually lasts. So what is Lagom exactly? Well, at its heart, it pretty much means not too much, not too little. You can think of it as the Goldilocks principle for your entire life. The key here is finding that sweet spot, that sustainable, balanced state, by actively pushing back against the pull of constant excess. Okay, this is what I love about this slide. It lays out the two mindsets so clearly. Over on one side, you've got that optimization mindset. The frantic race, more is more, relentless improvement. And on the other side, you've got the Laga mindset, a deliberate pace, the idea of just enough, and sustainable balance. It's really a choice between burnout and balance. And this is a huge deal for our work lives, right? Lagom isn't about being lazy or unproductive at all. It's about being effective over the long haul. It's choosing a steady, deliberate pace that you can actually maintain instead of just sprinting until you completely collapse. It's deciding, to take a real lunch break instead of just scarfing down a sandwich at your desk. So how do we actually get from that feeling of chaos to a sense of balance? Let's take a look at how this philosophy can have real, tangible benefits for our minds and, yes, our schedules. The problem so many of us are dealing with is something called cognitive overload. You know that feeling, right? It's that mental fog you get when your brain is trying to juggle way too many tabs at once. The whole more is more approach basically pushes our brains to their breaking point, and it leaves us feeling scattered and totally stressed out. But here's the transformation. Lagom basically acts as a filter. It helps you actively recalibrate what you're focusing on. Think of it like this. Instead of a to-do list with 30 items, you zero in on the 3 that are actually important for the day. And doing that, it transforms a chaotic, reactive schedule into one that's proactive, intentional, and actually structured around what matters to you. And the result is incredibly powerful. We're not talking about an empty calendar or a life with no ambition. We're talking about a life where you have the mental space to think clearly, where your time actually reflects your priorities, and where you feel this genuine sense of balance and control. Okay, so at the end of the day, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a practical tool. So let's bring this all home and talk about how you can start to find your own just enough. And really, that's the question I want to leave you with. In your work, in your relationships, in your personal goals, what would just enough truly look like for you? Would it be one less meeting a week, a shorter to-do list? Taking the time to figure out that answer might just be the most productive thing you do all day.